So, hi Aquarius, my name is Chris and this is your December reading. I'm doing the Celtic cross for you and I'm diving right in. Let's just take the 10 of Cups in the center of your reading. That's a beautiful energy. There's always also the 10 of Wands here, so you're wrapping something up. Not surprising, it's the end of 2025. It's not just the end of 2025, it's a 7-year circle. Ace of Swords shows up again and again. That's a new consciousness, right? Happy home, count your blessings, right? And there's the Hierophant. Wow, that's powerful. That's the Aquarius reading, right? The Aquarius reading is always a little special. There's the Tower, but this might be a good tower, but let's just find out, because the Tower in this combination, you're the Hierophant, you got a new consciousness, right? Happiness, fortune after difficulty, right? And then there's the Tower. Let's just see a little more context. There's the 8 of Pentacles in your recent past. Work, good work. Chariot is moving you forward to something else. You're a little, well, you are the Page of Swords, right? You draw your new consciousness and you look into the world, prepared for everything. You're leaving the old behind. 8 of Cups, Queen of Cups, and the outcome is the 7 of Swords. Okay. Justice at the bottom of the deck, and the 3 of Cups underneath. The 7 of Swords in the outcome is pretty much this. There are 2 options here, right? So you're freeing yourself from something, you know. There's a Tower moment here, and that Tower moment, you can read this in 2 different possibilities, right? The Tower and the 7 of Swords, right? Doesn't look so nice at first glance, but it's the choice that you have to make, and you have to make that choice out of what you have learned so far, right? Wisdom, the Hierophant, the new consciousness. So the question is, whenever there is somebody trying to trigger you, whenever there's somebody trying to engage you in drama, right? Maybe you're just kicking them out of your life, right? Could that be a possibility, right? Because you got something beautiful here, very harmonious, very beautiful, very peaceful, and you're wise enough to protect that as the Hierophant, right? So spiritual mastership, lesson learned, so to speak. There's a new consciousness, and you're just focused on a happy home, a good place to be, to create, and the universe is totally on your side. You're working on something, you're creating, you're co-creating with the universe, happiness, joy, right? And then there's the outside world, right? So there might have been a lot of disappointments that you have been working through, because in the outside position you got the 8 of Cups, so you got to let something go, right? If you don't meet the right people, don't try to force it, right? You got plenty of times, right? You are awake. That's the Page of Swords here. You got your sword drawn, the wind is blowing in your hair, right? So this could be hypervigilant at the worst case, or just, yeah, being cautious, you know? You having learned your lesson, and whatever Tower moment happens here, I talked about 2 possibilities. So you can either invite someone into your life. Somebody might be knocking at your life, basically, and wants to bring in some drama, right? It's a choice whether you let this person in or not, right? You can also kick someone out of your life who is already in your life and who's creating a lot of drama. The choice with the 7 of Swords is pretty much, are you allowing drama into your life? You know, do you still entertain a conflict? Do you still entertain drama? Or are you stealing yourself away? You know, are you just leaving the conflict, leaving the battle zone, right? This could also be somebody trying to kind of mindfuck you, right? Lowering your frequency. It's the season, it's Christmas, right? There's the Ace of Swords clarifying the Hierophant again. Three of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles. So I would say there is something that you're working on. Just focus on that. If you do that, you will be super successful and have a reason to celebrate. Do not engage in any toxicity. There's the Strength card with the Chariot. As I said, do not take the bait of any narcissistic person. If there's someone in your life, you know, it might be a good idea to kick them out, right? That's the Tower and the Crown here. But there are two cards here that are kind of a little shady, right? That's the Tower and that's the Seven of Swords. This is the Crown of your reading. This is the outcome. So you kind of dropping a bomb, right? You kind of stating your truth. Looks like stating your truth. 2 times the Ace of Swords, right? You totally zen here, right? Mastership, spiritual mastership, resting within yourself. You got something going for yourself. You got work to do. Work that pays off, work that is very successful. You got a happy, stable home, a foundation where you can retreat to. And then there's the Tower. Somebody is trying to get you out of this Zen energy here, right? And you're very wise that you are cautious who you let into your life, whose advice you take, whose story you just believe, you know, who you surround yourself with in December, right? Which is kind of a little tricky, right? Some of us are going home for Christmas, right? Or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever you're celebrating, right? Do not allow anybody to take away your hard-earned Zen mentality, right? And whenever somebody is trying to trick you into conflict, whenever somebody is trying to push your button, do not react to it, right? You can take a step back, right? You're the Hierophant, you got this new consciousness. Your mastership is in your inner peace, in your not suppressing yourself, but being in control of your emotions, in control of your passions, in control of your reactivity. And somebody is trying to bring you back into this reactivity mindset, right? Trigger response, you know? Queen of Cups is clarifying the Page of Swords here. So you're aware of this, right? And you're very much, you got the Queen of Cups here a second time, in control of your emotions. Nobody can trigger you. That's why you are already the Hierophant. But this will be tested, right? Let's just say you will be tested, right? Okay. So, hopes and fears, yeah. There are two ways in which people are trying to scare you. Either by catastrophizing you, telling you, oh, it's all so bad, and have you worried about this and that, right? Could also be dark chapters of your past, you know, memories in that regard. Another way of triggering you is kind of this player energy, where somebody is trying to manipulate you through fire energy, through passion. Somebody is toxic here, but you're the Hierophant, right? And there is the Two of Cups clarifying the Seven of Swords. This is telling me that you have to just accept the world as it is. You are cleaning out your happy home here, right? You are very much in control. You build something for yourself. It works. There's a career aspect here that works. Universe is supporting you. There's a happy home, a stable foundation where you can retreat and, you know, meditate or whatever. Kind of be the Hierophant, right? You got this new consciousness. The universe is super supportive. Then there's the Tower, and this means to me that you're kind of clearing out negative energies, right? You're not allowing anybody in who's toxic, but you're also kicking someone out who might be toxic. Or you're kind of freeing yourself from your own toxic mindset. Could that be? And this will be tested, right? As I said, you're going to meet someone who is going to test you in that regard, trying to push your button, trying to lure you into lower frequency, guilt, fear, shame, you know, rage, anger, frustration, that kind of jazz. Seven of Swords, that's the sneaky bastard of the tarot deck. That's the narcissist of the tarot deck. Clarified by the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is this insight. By the way, bottom of the deck, the Star card. Bottom of the clarifier deck is Justice. And you got the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles underneath. So you're going to meet good people as well. There are good people at the horizon. Maybe not in December, maybe in 2026, January, February, something like that. But there are good energies, there's justice, and it seems like you're bringing that justice upon yourself, right? By upholding the lesson that you have learned. What is the lesson that you've learned? Keep and protect your inner peace. I would almost say at all costs, because the inner peace is the most important thing in your life. If you can maintain your inner peace, if you can maintain your cool, so to speak, right? If you're not easily triggered into a reaction, that's a superpower. And that is pretty much the new consciousness. That is pretty much the big strengths of the Hierophant. The spiritual leader, somebody who learned a deep spiritual lesson. And everything looks fantastic. The difficult thing might be to let go of all that resentment and pain and hurt that you might have went through with the Eight of Cups here and the Moon card, not allowing it to lower your frequency, right? That is self-discipline, right? That is also practical self-love, right? To just take care of your frequency. And then we come back to the Two of Cups. You know what? The world is full of toxic people. You can't just ignore them. You can't just get rid of them. Wishful thinking is not going to change the world, right? They are there. They are toxic. They are really malignant, right? They are really, really toxic, right? And they have all sorts of masks and they disguise themselves, right? Kind of shapeshifters in many ways, right? So don't buy their bullshit. You know they're there. You know how they work. They try to lower your frequency. That's the goal. Whatever they do, they try to lower your frequency. Not allowing that to happen, not engaging in the fight, not taking the bait, clear healthy boundaries, or just not going there, just not participating in it. Do good, it will come back to you in unexpected ways. I think the best you can do in December is just to count your blessings and concentrate on your projects and focus on that and let the outside world be the outside world. We are called to be architects of the future, not its victims. Buckminster Fuller, you're working on this. The universe totally on your side. And one more. Somebody needs to hear that. I'm just going to read it. There's one here, be aware of the difference between a reaction and a response, right? That's very Hierophant-like. And fanaticism is always a sign of repressed doubt. Carl Jung. It's the season, right? So it's a fantastic reading. I'm just happiness, joy, fortune after difficulty. Let's just talk about that. Let's just emphasize the Two of Cups a little bit, right? You can believe that. You got some work to do the work. You're going to get something back. It pays off. Low-hanging fruits energy here. You worked for this new consciousness. You are the Hierophant, the spiritual mastership, and you have every reason to be proud of yourself, how far you came. There's justice here, but justice like in the sense that now you get tested. Get tested in the sense that you're encountering some narcissistic people, and the way you react to them, or I would say respond to them, which is not a reaction. A reaction is always involuntarily or involuntarily, you just trigger response. That's a trigger reaction, actually. That's a reaction. And the response is always, there's a gap between the trigger and then you decide, okay, what's going on? Do I want to respond to it or don't I want, or how do I want to respond to it? There's the gateway here in the Blue Angel Oracle deck, and it seems like it is a gateway moment. Let's just see what this is all about. Evolution, yeah. Observe the image closely. It depicts a portal that lets you up golden steps of light to an arc. Once you reach this point, you ascend further to an even higher realm of consciousness. This spiritual journey is occurring within you. Right now, you are ascending to higher planes of awareness, wisdom, and love. This is a significant point of your soul's evolution, a rare and major event. It is an initiation through which you are eternally blessed. There are cycles of great wisdom and love from this point on. Okay, so it's a gateway moment, and guess what? There's one last test. Can you accept the world as it is? Not trying to change the world. You have changed yourself, successfully so. How do you react to that? Disengage. Keep your cool. Don't let anybody trigger you. All of your lessons, concentrate on your own projects, on your own stuff. Turn knowledge into wisdom. That's wolf spirit. And it's not, basically, the thing that I'm seeing here is, if you just concentrate on your own stuff, on your own happy home, on your own work, on your own thing that makes sense to you, you're perfectly successful, safe and sound, and happy and joyful in December. And the gateway is basically, the gateway I see here is the transition to 2026. And 2025, I don't know where you have been, but the last few years, actually the last 7 years, have been very, very intense and very, very hard for decent people. If you've been a fascist, Nazi, psychopath, you might have had a great time, but kind of decent people had it a little difficult. It seems like you're coming out of this as the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is not, you don't become a spiritual leader just like that, right? So you go through some sort of dark night of the soul, might have happened in the last 7 years. You come out of it as the Hierophant. So you have every reason to divine, humble pride, right? And now there's this gateway, and the gateway is practically this 7-year circle, this winter that lasted 7 years, so to speak, Game of Thrones, like coming to a closure, and we are entering 2026, which is a complete different energy. The madness is going to subside, but you can be sure that the mad people will try to, you know, till the last moment to get you on their side. So turn knowledge into wisdom. Wolf Spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secret of your life. You can sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all you have learned and all you are learning and make it yours. Can you integrate it all into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lesson you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. The appearance of Wolf Spirit is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. What is unknown is still yet to be discovered. When Wolf Spirit appears, you are being told not to pretend you know something you don't. You won't impress anyone with a little bit of knowledge. In fact, you rob yourself of a true experience and education if you tell yourself you're done learning, or you don't have to know something. Divine humble pride, right? Let's just concentrate on the main message here. As I said, someone will test you and you will just say, no, thank you, I'm fine, I got my thing going, and that's it. That's all it is. And that's all I got, and I hope it resonates with you. If it does, share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it, and hopefully see you next time. Now, goodbye, my friend. Ciao.